me are the crew of the Oh Boy. When we last left off, the crew had gone through Shields Gate and landed on the planet Limbus, which has been cut off from the Empire for thousands of years. Upon landing on Limbus, they were met by a group of survivors that brought them in to a shielded city. And there they met a number of people, including the Lord, and they discovered that Beatrice had stopped here and that her beacon was still lit. Lord Sophronis allowed them to go into the temple, giving them part of a key. They're unsure where the other part is. As they walked up the steps, however, call came in for Calypso, Gregor, saying there was a problem that he couldn't discuss over the comms and requested the captain's presence, causing her to rush away to check on the Oh Boy. And that's where we will pick up with the three of you standing at the door of this cathedral. If you remember, there were two large statues on the left and the right of Beatrice, and the prophet Zebulon. There is also the large ornate door. You can see that it is made out of some sort of synthesized steel. It has the color of steel, but it's got this weird, it's not metallic, it's not reflective in any sort of way. So it's standing there, and you can see the telltale marks, the char marks, of both laser weaponry discharging into it and explosives, and neither seems to have damaged the door to her chapel.
Had we asked for Alexa to join us?
We had not. No, I thought we were going to.
Yes.
We wanted her
and Virgil.
So if they're not here yet, we'll come back and wait for them to join us.
All right, it doesn't take them very long. Alexa's like, of course. Are you sure you need me? Nigel is still unconscious.
We may just need Virgil.
You talked to Beatrice, right? I mean, as much as you could.
With her, yes, but I did.
We think she's in here.
Truly?
So this is where the coordinates were that we were given, and this beacon was lit, and I point to the statue of Beatrice. It's her chapel, temple, church,
Structure.
thing.
I will be right there. And the line goes dead.
So we have half a key.
Is there a hole for it?
There is. There are two matching holes on the left and right of where you would assume a seam to the door would be.
Okay.
They're both the same shape. They're both this kind of pentagonal key. And you can kind of see the, one second, pulling up my notes. You can see the shape on the other side.
The same shape?
Same shape.
Do we get the sense that if we made an impression of the key, we could duplicate it to open the door?
The key is made of metal, and it you can, as you kind of look along the edges, as you inspect it, you can see a number of very fine deviations in the edge of the key. I mean, the key's edge is only 2 millimeters thick.
Right.
And as you kind of look at the two, you can see kind of this wavy pattern on the inside ridge where the key would go, and they don't seem to align.
So they are intentionally different.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Well, maybe Virgil will have an answer when he gets here. And, I mean, we can always put the key in the side of the door that we know, and maybe we can only open half of it.
Possibly.
I mean, can we put the key in the door and see if half the door opens?
You can. You kind of put it in, and as it gets within about a finger span of the door, you can feel it, the door or the key kind of being attracted to the door.
Okay.
Do you let
I'm
go of
assuming
it?
she's the one with the key.
Oh.
She was you were
Are
going
you
to give
gonna,
it.
are you gonna
the
let
key,
go of? Let it into the door?
Sure.
Kind of.
Have I ever seen keys like this to temples before?
I don't know. Have you?
I mean, I feel like
Could there
I've
be records of them?
been in temples. I don't know if I've ever seen the doors.
You have access
locked.
to the sacred library.
Yes. Yes.
Card of flags. Chart of flags.
Yes, then you have seen these. These are very old locks that are basically used to guard the temple's secrets. As you know, 2, 3, sometimes 4 clergy have to be there to unlock the vaults. You've never seen one though on the outside of a chapel or something like that.
Okay.
This is very strange.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I'll let it go and I'll take a step back. I'm not gonna.
Okay. You let it, so it flies the rest of the distance. It flips a little bit and then locks into place.
Oh, that was cool.
You hear a click, but nothing else happens.
Okay, that was not cool.
No seam. So again, remember it's pentagonal. It has spars that kind of come to the center. You can see at this point a white line sort of appears in a circle around it, giving you kind of, and it looks like that whole side will freely rotate now at this point.
Okay.
You hear and Alexa comes running up to you.
I brought Virgil.
Oh, good. He might be able to help us.
How can I help you?
Let's just shade pulling him out from wandering eyes.
All right, so you kind of put yourself between the front of the cathedral and the stairwell.
Yes.
Right, so Alexa very easily hides in your shadow.
Take one side.
Okay, yeah, so the two of you kind of blocking out. Jexa, you're there with Alexa.
Let's say I can't block anything, so.
You turn sideways, we lose you. Jexa, go. And Virgil just comes. How may I be of assistance?
I think there's a combination here to unlock this door. Do you know the combination?
I do not. However, if this is one of the doors on the journey, then I should be able to open it. I am the key.
Excellent.
And you see he kind of, a little statue, just sort of glides towards the other lock. And it raises its hands, and its hands start bending and unfolding and reshape into a symbol very similar to the one that she had. And he puts his arms in. I believe we now have to align the keys, Mistress Gemma.
Okay.
So as you kind of rotate, you can hear these, your tiny movements, you hear large clangs and finally when they both align, you can feel it kind of sink into place and the white lines disappear and they flow and then split the seam of the door. And there's this noise as the air pressurizes between the inside and the outside.
Why don't you step back? just for a second. So, I'll have everyone kind of back up. I'll very hesitantly, waiting for something to blow up in my face, open the doors.
Is it a push or a pull?
It is a pull.
Pull them
All
open.
right, so you kind of get your fingers in there, and it slides. It's a little rough to start, but it opens up quite smoothly after that. And beyond, you don't see the lights in the cathedral do not seem to be on. This musty smell just kind of wafts out. And
Hello?
give me a. So you are the one standing there. Give me a perception plus observe roll, please.
Can Virgil come out?
I was gonna say, can I
Of the
put
door.
Virgil in my pocket?
You cannot. He will not go with you. He will only go with Alexa.
Then
Yeah, he will disengage and
Okay.
thank you, Virgil.
Right when I'm about to
you are
like
most
grab.
welcome.
I'm gonna use
It is my
my
pleasure.
4 leftover VP to bump my sad 8 up to 12.
Nice. All right, give us a roll.
Nope. Wasn't enough.
All right. So
So I
You-
peer around Gemma and just start, hello?
your voice echoes through the narthex all the way down into the nave of the cathedral. And at the far end, you guys see this soft, gently pulsating white light towards the far end of the cathedral.
Beatrice, are you in here?
There's-
Lady of the Light?
There's no answer.
Dude, guys, it's totally safe. Let's go.
You hear this whirring noise coming just inside the door off to,
Is there any sort of
Oh,
like
right.
dirt on the ground?
as you look down on the ground, you do see a large stain on the stones of the cathedral. You don't know what it is.
Is there any dirt?
Not inside the cathedral, no.
So I'm gonna poke my head in.
No, I will poke my head in.
No, I think that's.
I heard a machine.
I can't. What if it tries to cut our heads off?
Just let me
That
poke
would
my
only
head
be
in.
if I like was kneeling down to look at something.
I will. If I get
Too
someone
soon.
gets shot, I'll get shot. I'll just let me put my head in, and then you can go in. Okay. I will.
As you look in, the whirring is coming from the right. You can see the narthex is kind of a square area, and to the left and the right there are small rooms off of each side of the narthex. There's an archway in front of you where you can see kind of from the light coming in from outside, they're very brightly colored frescoes and images of the prophets and of the disciples of the prophet Zebulon, kind of doing the different great deeds from the Omega Gospels. But you also see that on the floor kind of leading up, there seems to be some sort of image, but the light isn't really catching it.
I have a torch.
You do have a torch.
Click it on.
You can see that in front there is a massive starburst that runs from just on the other side of the narthex all the way up the nave to the crossing, where it kind of it's the one ray of light that goes up and then bursts, and it catches your light, and it just scatters it. For a brief second, the whole place is illuminated. You do notice several other dark stains on the ground. And the whirring noise, as you kind of look, is a series of 8 rings and a sphere. And they are rotating, if that makes sense, as they're spinning around. And they go from completely perpendicular to the ground with the sphere in the center. Then it rotates and the sphere drops and draws all of the rings down to a point. And then it kind of rebounds back up, and then the rings rebound up above it, and then it comes back and settles down. the whole cycle takes about 30 seconds. And the light glitters and reflects into that small room.
Is it a machine? Is it from the 2nd century, or 2nd Republic? Can I touch it?
I don't know if I'd recommend touching it, but you can see it. And I will direct her hands on her shoulders so she doesn't go any further in, but let her kind of peek in and see if she recognizes it.
Yeah, can I make out what it might be used for, when it comes from?
I mean, you can. What would you like to try and roll to discern that? Discern that. I can talk.
I mean,
It's just coffee.
my tech redemption allows me to work with a lot of unfamiliar things and make them useful again.
Well, give me a tech redemption plus wits roll.
I'll also, as she's doing this, point out the various stains on the floor
Mm-hmm.
as a cautionary tale.
Ah.
Bones or just stains?
There are no bones. There are only stains.
I was successful with an 8.
With an 8, how many are you spending to overcome the resistance?
With my vaulted VP, that puts me at 18. I'm going to go ahead and spend 10.
Okay. So once again, just for those of you tuning in for the first time, the way the Fading Sun system works is the GM calls for a characteristic plus skill roll, and that's the number the players are trying to roll under on their skill check. If they're successful, the number they roll is how many victory points that roll generates. And that still doesn't necessarily mean that it is a success, it just means there's a possibility of success. They then have to spend victory points to overcome the resistance on the roll. And if that happens, then they've successfully completed the task. So what you do know is you don't know what it's used for. It's
Okay.
very pretty.
Okay.
Very pretty.
Want it.
But it is using some sort of gravimetric manipulation,
Okay.
and you think that it's all centered in the silver sphere
Mhm.
that forms either the center,
Mhm.
the apex, or the nadir of this moving
Mhm.
sculpture.
Okay. I think if we disrupt, okay, so like I'm like leaning in and kind of trying to talk over my shoulder at Gemma and Alestra. I said, I think if we take out the sphere or get it to stop, then the whole machine will shut down. And then I can take it and connect it to this thing I found elsewhere.
So how do you disable it again?
You see this sphere?
Yeah.
That's probably where the motor is.
How do you get the sphere out without?
Do we wish to take it apart?
I don't know.
You are nowhere close to my
I know I can't reach it, but I'm like this?
Do you, would Gemma, with her history, recognize, are there any patterns to the stains on the floor? Like, are they in a radius around this
They are
thing?
not. They are pretty haphazard, spaced throughout the area. But go ahead and give me a perception plus. This is going to be a perception plus remedy roll. If you would like to give me one as well, you are welcome to.
I would love to. That's natural.
It's a natural 20.
13.
Okay. By the way, in case you're watching, Mark, thank you again for this GM screen. It is fantastic.
Alright, so I'm bumping my roll up to 18.
Okay,
I got it with a 14.
awesome. How much are you spending to overcome the resistance?
Let's go with 10.
All right. You don't know what it is, but you are familiar enough with the fluids in a human body to recognize that this is blood, about 2 liters of stain.
That's a lot of blood. Not enough to bleed out, but a lot of blood. We didn't have to bleed out. I don't know now, my brain won't work.
She the doctor.
I had class today, okay?
You know that the human body holds on average 4.5 to 5.5 liters of blood.
Thank you.
So, are we going in? We could always send Virgil in first. He is supposed to guide us and lead us.
Do the rooms on either end look interesting at all, or are they just kind of...
There's the room with the rings, and they both have very small portals that give access to them.
Okay.
The other room seems to have a small bench that you can see on the far side.
Okay.
And we'll get back to your natural 20 here in a bit, don't worry. I haven't forgotten.
You did.
Anything above us of interest besides paintings, frescoes?
When you look above you, there are more paintings.
Okay.
But the one above you seems to be the image of a star, yet also a pair of hands kind of reaching out into space. You don't recognize any of the constellations around them.
Interesting.
But that's a fairly universal symbol for the Pan Creator.
And then we can send Virgil in and see what happens.
How do
We bring the key, we don't have a key.
Well, if something is almost going to happen to him, he can always fly away.
It's true.
I'm up for that.
Virgil!
Are you sure? He is unique in the universe as far as we know.
Well, why don't we ask him then?
And how may I be of service again?
Do you have any interest in going in this temple?
Of course, this is Beatrice's temple, is it not? Or one of them, rather.
Gemma just thinks there's something in here that's going to kill us.
There's bloodstains on the floor. There's a weird whirring thing right inside the door.
Do you know what it is?
Do I know what the whirring noise is?
Here, come here.
It sounds
Look
like
in
a
it.
gravimetric device.
Yes, what does it do?
I assume manipulate gravity.
Yes, for just itself, or for an area, for the temple.
Kind of flies in. I assume it is manipulating those rings.
Just the rings?
I have no gravimetric sensors. It is merely an educated guess.
How do you fly again?
Gravimetric manipulation.
And you don't recognize the intensity of this one?
When you look at her, do you recognize her liver functions? Do you
She
not-
doesn't drink much, so her liver's probably a lot better than Calypso's.
She has a point.
I mean, I can take a wild stab at it.
down to whatever unit of measurement is used to.
I don't know that much about livers.
It's fair. You have one though, do you not?
I do. I haven't used it yet because I'm not allowed to.
I am fairly certain your liver is used for more than just processing alcoholic beverages.
Is it?
Yes, darling, it is.
Why have you guys not taught me this?
Is there anything
On our
around
next flight, I
outside
can
the
teach you
temple?
all about human anatomy.
You see several large chunks of rubble that you kind of,
Is there one like palm sized?
yeah. You roll it like right down the nave into the crossing, that centerpiece in the center. And you hear after that,
Shine my light. Do I see anything though?
give me an observe plus perception.
Can I look?
You may all give me observe plus perception rolls.
I would like to spend a weird point and make this favorable. I was successful with a 5.
Okay.
Yes.
How much are you all?
Nope. Just gonna go home.
How much are you spending on your rolls?
I'll go with 10.
Okay.
I don't like that smart.
All right. You can see something about the size, the height of a table. Meter in height.
Mhm.
How much did you spend, by the way, Jeff?
No, I hadn't said yet.
Yeah.
I'll do 10 as well. So we have a total of. Do we add them together?
You do not. So this thing sits up about a meter off the ground. Has at least 10 legs. It's got this black, oily carapace, and you just see it kind of duck low to the ground and skitter
I don't like it.
to the north.
After the
Two.
big hunk of rock.
Nope.
It came out to investigate and then ran from the light.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it.
I have much less desire to go in there by myself now.
I'll come with you.
No, you will not.
Well, are we going to stand out here? Are we going to go in there and see what Beatrice wants? Yes, there's a big black bug. Yes, there's a whirly-diggy thingy over there.
What does the battle sister say?
I didn't see it.
Yes, but we can tell you about it and get your opinion.
I mean, I can go in. I don't think we should all go in at the same time. Maybe space it out a little bit.
Okay, so you and Virgil go in first, and then I will go in with my gun trained on the sphere. So if I need to, I can shoot that and then end it so it doesn't, throw us up into space. Or flip
Maybe we
everything
leave
around.
Virgil outside. Because if I have to fight something and there's something that might kill us, maybe we don't destroy the key.
But isn't Virgil the one who commutes with Beatrice?
If it goes poorly, we can call him in. If something's gonna shoot me, I prefer it only shoot me,
Okay.
not the key.
That is fair. Fair point.
Okay. With my torch lit, I will draw my sword in the other hand,
Oh, pistol?
and I will walk into space.
All right. As you there's a little bit of resistance as you move through the portal, as if there's some sort of force there. You can kind of feel it press in real tight to your face, and you kind of move through it as if there's a membrane there that you can't see. And basically, as soon as you move through, there is someone next to you. You can see clearly dressed in the vestments of the clergy. And then you realize that you can sort of see through here. And it says the chapel, the doors. And then it just freezes and kind of flickers a couple more times and then says, mercy on our souls. And it disappears. And you again hear the...
So either in or out, but we need to shut the doors.
Let's go in.
Okay.
Very well. Come along, Virgil.
I'm pulling the door shut.
As soon as it closes, there's that hiss again, and the seam seals back up.
Real quick, we did grab the key, right?
No.
You did not say you grabbed the key. All right. The lights slowly
Gemma's
flick
not
on.
the brains of this operation.
She is the fun buns of the operation.
I falsely assumed we grabbed it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes in stressful situations we make,
It's okay. There should be a key on the inside.
right?
And
Um,
Virgil.
the lights come on, and what you realize is there are no lamps. The stained glass windows sort of light up as if light is pouring in through them. And the room's light kind of rises to like dawn or dusk, kind of twilight level of light. And you can see now what they were talking about. These carapaced things. And there was the one on the ground that is kind of turned around, and it's got 4 mandibles that kind of hesitantly test the air, and you can see that their body is almost oblong shaped, and their head kind of rises up, and you can see the series of mandibles kind of down there, and then they lower it. There's some sort of armored carapace kind of over the head. And then you notice there's a second one up on one of the pillars. It looked like just like a black stain, but it was actually like a blister that slowly unrolls and starts skittering down. And there are 4 of them, hesitantly testing the air.
Did we see the hologram that she did?
For 2 victory points, you did.
Okay. Okay.
You saw it. You
No,
actually,
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't spend it?
I don't have any.
Oh, well,
I
you
mean,
saw
I guess
it.
I could surge.
You could
And
surge.
spend 2.
You gonna surge and spend 2?
Yeah.
So once a session, a PC can surge in order to gain victory points into their vault if they have none. What is your surge value?
9,
Okay, I just wanted to know.
I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think that goes up when we level up.
All right.
Okay.
These 4 things kind of, the other 3 drop from the like the pillars or the great heights of the cathedral and just kind of land. And you see they kind of land very wetly and spread out a little bit, and then sort of reform. And that skittering noise is the sound of claws scraping against the stone floors.
I don't like it.
Neither do I. Alexa steps behind Gemma.
That's unfortunate because Gemma was gonna step in and.
All right.
Are there any between us and the beacon?
They are all between you and the beacon.
Oh.
So the chapel's shape
Mm-hmm.
is that of a cross. So it heads down, kind of opens up. You can see where the jump, like the little halls are of the jump gate cross kind of extend around.
Mm-hmm.
And then the light is on the far end. So you basically have to cross the nave and the choir to get to it. All right, so
Hello?
it is initiative time. Are you seizing the initiative?
I'd like to, yes.
All right, go for it. You get to go first then.
Okay, I will, I guess, charge one of them.
All right. Gemma, sword drawn, gun out.
So,
All right, sword drawn, goes charging right at one of these things, and it sort of rears up on 2 of its legs so that 6 of them are up to face you. Go ahead and give me a roll.
what am I rolling?
It will be strength plus melee. Plus 1, I believe, because you have a finely crafted blade.
I do. So, 15. With a 7. No success.
Okay. How much are you spending to overcome its resistance?
Because I don't know what this is, I will spend 6 and save 1 of my VP.
Spend 6 and save 1 of your VP. You definitely overcome its resistance.
Okay.
Your blade just cuts into this thing, and you don't feel like you're hitting something solid, but you definitely feel like you're hitting something viscous. So how much damage are you doing?
6.
6 points. Are you spending any to increase the damage?
No, but I am going to spend my final VP to use Myriad Strike.
Okay, what does that do?
Lets me hit again.
Ooh. All right, go for it.
I think. So it says, perform a fight skill attack if successful. Attempt another immediate fight skill attack against the same opponent as a bonus primary action.
Go for it. That is exactly how that works.
Says the target's body resistance is then lowered by an amount equal to the damage inflicted by the first attack.
Okay, so that means, so basically, you hit it once, and if you overcome it, your initial damage lowers their body resistance so that it's easier to overcome the second time. So that's not great for me. I mean, that's good job, player. Get it, Gemma.
Ooh, successful with a 9.
Right. Well, go ahead.
So I still have to spend to overcome its resistance.
Well, its resistance is now 0 because of the damage you did to it last time. So how much would you like to spend? So you do another 6, right? How much would you like to spend to, you can increase the damage at this point. 2 VPs for 1 damage.
Let's do 6.
So for another 3. All right, what does it look like? You take that one out.
One thing. I, inspired by old stories of pirates, X marks the spot. So 1 slash down, come back, swing around, other X, and just quarter it.
All right.
Hopefully just a gelatinous dead puddle on the floor.
It hits the ground, and as it hits, you can see it just kind of spreads out, and it starts to drip into the cracks between the stones, and soon it leaves like an oily residue on the stones, but disappears. Who is going next?
Do you want to go, or do you want me to have one of them go?
One of them.
We have Alestra, myself, and Alexa. So let's have another one of us go.
Oh, I can always interrupt it.
You're a noble again?
And why don't you go, because you said you had your gun drawn.
Okay. I will try to shoot one.
Okay.
All right. 17 out of 13.
17 out of 13. All right, how much are you spending to overcome the resistance?
Oh. I got a 17, and I need
Oh,
13.
out of 13, so you miss. Never
Yes.
mind. So you go charging up to this thing. Or no, you stand
No,
back.
I stand back.
You
Fine.
fire your blaster. It goes wide and hits one of the pillars, leaving a carbon scoring mark identical to some of the ones you saw outside.
Sorry, Beatrice.
Who is going next?
So there's 3 of them.
Maybe then 1 or 2 of them.
All right, well,
Ouchie.
one of them does go charging up to Gemma, chittering madly. As you see it kind of comes up on, as it charges in, it goes up on one leg up, then the second pair, then the third pair, and the fourth pair kind of come up, and it stands almost 1.5 meters taller than you as it slams down on you.
Trying to eat you.
Actually, it stands, and you can see its mouth's open, but its whole body starts to vibrate as it screeches at you. Right, that'll succeed. What is your body resistance, and are you shock-proof? Or sorry, yeah, shock-proof.
My body resistance is 7. I am not shockproof.
7?
Yeah.
Great googly moogly. I mean, yes, it is 7. I spend 7 chips to overcome your resistance. All right, you take 5 points of damage as it generates this wave of sound that slams into you. You can feel your teeth vibrating as it hits and tries to stun you and catch you off guard. It's going to choose one of its buddies to go next, who then slams into Gemma.
I am slam proof.
You are slam proof. Okay. And it's again 7.
I was not shock proof.
You were not shock proof, so I didn't have to spend as many chips because it halves your armor.
Yes.
If you're proof against something, it halves.
Yeah, so the first time I was not, second time I am.
Okay. So in that case, still got to spend 7. The difference in the proofing makes up for my crappy roll, and it will do 4 points of damage as it slams it. You guys see one of its claws. It doesn't claw her. It hits the side of her face, and it kind of sticks, and then starts to spread around her head, trying to choke her. It's going to let one of you go.
I'll let Alexa go.
Alexa's a non-combatant.
Okay.
Not,
So
not-
it's you.
She is a pacifist.
Now.
The one person she killed weighs heavily on her.
Did you get
So-
hurt? Okay. I'm gonna go up to Gemma and heal her.
How are you going to try and heal her? Because it is in the middle of a fight.
I have a wonderful perk called Loving Prayer. It is, as a primary action, you can touch and heal someone who has suffered vitality wounds within the same scene. You touch the target, speak words of consoling prayer. The target heals 1 vitality per rank of faith I have. You may do this on the same target only once per scene. And I
Okay.
have 5 faith.
All right. So you go running up, lay hands on her. You don't need to make any sort of roll for that. All right. So you hear one of the litanies of prayer, or one of the litanies of resolve. I mean, what kind of do you say?
Consoling prayer.
Okay. So you barely hear it out of your left ear as you can feel it kind of tickling the inside as this ooze spreads over you. But you hear the call to the Pancreator and Zebulon, and you kind of feel revitalized, and 5 of your vitality comes back.
Beautiful.
The last of them is going to select, or there's no one else for you to select.
Because Alexa's a pacifist,
Yep.
yeah.
So you
the last
select
one.
the last one. It attacks you because you are standing next to the one that is currently glued to his buddy.
Okay.
His buddy, its buddy.
There, buddy.
You have yet to gender the ooze creature, or the strange creature.
Are
Oh,
they anything like bats?
if that's the case, I can't accurately do that. I need more chips, said the GM.
These are definitely bugs.
They're gelatinous.
They're bug-ish.
How
It's not
resistant
a
would they
nice
be to
sensation.
beast tranquilizers?
You don't know. There's no way to tell until you
Try it. waste one.
try it. However, what I will say is you got hit. What is your body resistance?
I have 3 body resistance and 3 armor. So 6.
Did your armor usually get your armor becomes your body resistance?
Okay, I have 6.
Did you have a perk that gave you the 3?
So I have armor, a leather stud jerkin, which
Yep.
is the 3
Yep.
armor.
Yep, I got you.
Number 3, my lord. And then I have a synth silk cape, which also gives me 3 body resistance.
Oh, okay. All right, so you're at a 6.
And I'm slam proof.
All right. Well, are you spending any to increase your resistance?
Who is?
Yes.
How much are you spending?
6.
I'm adorable too.
You're gonna.
So you gotta spend 12.
Well, that's exactly what I rolled. So I will spend the 12 to do that. All right. You will take 6 points of damage as this thing kind of hits you, but it gets you right in the face, and the light just kind of goes out a little bit.
Ah!
That or
It's going to pick itself to go again.
I see
at
stars.
the start of the new round.
No,
Would you like to go again?
I would like to go again.
I will just wait for the day where one day you forget that you have that ability to interrupt. It's never going to happen. You are up.
Never, ever. Okay, so I'm going to
I'll
select
just
a
start
new
picking
one.
her first in the game.
Probably smart.
But she can choose anybody to go first, right?
She can interrupt and go first. Or she can interrupt at any time in the initiative order.
I think the noble can pick someone.
The noble can pick somebody once per fight.
8, 7, 15. We'll bump it up to 18.
All right.
With a 10.
All right, you hit.
Okay. So I will spend. I spent 6 last time to overcome, right?
Yeah.
I'll spend 6 again to overcome.
All right, I will just take it. All right, go for it. So you're gonna do 6 points of damage.
Yep. And then I will spend another BP to do the same thing.
All right,
And then I will also bump it up to 18.
go for it. Well, you will hit, and its resistance is now at 0. So you're gonna do another 6 points to it.
Yes.
All right, it is still up. Who is going next?
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, I'll go.
Shoot this one and kill it
I'm
dead.
gonna shoot the one that she just hacked at.
Okay, be very careful. It is attached to your friend.
It is. I bumped up my shooting ability
All right, I'm just
to a
saying.
16. A 5. A 5.
All right, are you increasing? How many points are you spending to overcome resistance? You know from Gemma's hits, or Becca knows its resistance is 3.
Oh, okay. I
I
mean,
didn't know that.
I'll.
Its resistance is 3.
Okay, cool.
So I'll spend 3 to overcome.
Okay, it's gonna increase its resistance by 1.
Can I increase my?
You may.
Okay, so I'll do 4 then. All right. And
This
it
bug's
does,
a dick.
it does 4 points of damage.
Big gelatinous.
4 points of damage.
Yes, it was what my shock does.
All right. All right.
Sound effects by Penny.
Don't worry, I'll make that into like a sound.
You didn't
palette.
die?
It did die. How does it
Oh,
look?
okay. I shoot it off. Pew pew, and it splatters away from Gemma.
Okay. Gemma, I need you to give me a dexterity plus vigor roll.
So we're down to 2 bugs.
You are down to 2 bugs. One of them is attached to you.
I hope I'm tasty.
I will need to figure that out.
Because these are the things from
So
the
I have
outside.
-1 is next to my vigor and dex.
I'm really
and I
sorry
don't
when I
know
accidentally
why.
shake you.
From your armor, most likely.
Maybe. Okay, so that's
Maybe.
then. But here's the problem. I don't remember if I took it out. I don't think I did. 5, 6. We'll bump that up
Check copy.
to 14.
All right.
With a 9.
All right. It splatters away from you, hitting the ground, losing it.
It didn't get in you.
Who is going next?
The one not on Alestra.
All right. It comes charging right at you.
No, the other one. The other one.
I regret everything.
Pretty much.
Bad life decisions have brought me to this point. What is your body resistance?
4.
All right. Are you increasing it at all?
Yes, I am. I'm going to increase it by 4 more to make it 8.
Okay. So I'm going to spend 8.
Yes, make you spend it.
Make it rain.
That would hurt. These are poker chips
It's a thing called hail.
by Ulysses Spiel. The Torg ones and the Dark Eye ones. Soon to be Fading Suns one when the Kickstarter goes live, hopefully. All right, so I hit you for 8. It too. Are you?
Ow!
Or sorry, I hit you not for 8.
Oh, okay.
Are you shock? Are you?
I am shockproof and slamproof.
Okay. It
With
runs
my
up
jerkin.
and does the same thing where it rears up and
Okay.
just kind of ululates at you. And
I am uncomfortable.
it will.
I don't know why, but I'm
It's a
uncomfortable.
great word, ululate.
It is.
You will take 6 points of damage,
Okay.
however.
Sorry.
And it will choose the one that's on buddy.
I'm saying no.
All right, you get
It's
to do
my turn.
it once per fight. All right, go for it.
I was looking something up. You used a sword on it, right? Okay, cool. I'm gonna pull out my my little dagger here and just
Go for it.
because it's like
It is
all up in my face.
it is all up in your business.
What would that be?
Melee plus melee plus strength.
Like I'm being laughed at.
No,
No.
it's him.
Okay, good.
No, it's totally me. Melee plus strength.
Okay.
Still getting used to some of our new features,
Like Post-it.
like drawers and post-it notes.
I'm going to
It's
spend.
newfangled.
Yeah, I'll just spend 10. Make it 18. 15. Yeah, buddy.
All right. 3 to overcome its resistance, and actually, it's going to spend 5. So it's a resistance of 8.
It is just rude. Yeah, I'll spend 8.
It happens.
7?
7.
Mhm.
Now,
All right. How many points of damage you do with your dagger?
I do 4.
All right. Now it's
And
going.
its turn.
It is its turn. It does. It just screams at you.
Right in her
Yeah.
like.
Are
I'll
you?
scream back at
Are
her.
you shockproof?
Don't open your mouth.
No.
Don't open your mouth.
there you go.
All right. So your resistance is halved. So it only costs me 3 to overcome. Are you spending any to increase your resistance?
Yeah.
How many?
4.
All right. So that brings your total 6 to 10.
No, 7.
No, it's you add it all together and
I like
then
that.
divide it by 2.
That makes me lose 2.
It does. All right, so I will spend all that and I will increase it by 1 to do a total of 6 points to you. And you
I
can
missed
kind of
that. Could you?
you can watch it again on YouTube. It kind of you can see it starting to spread out as if it is going to engulf Alestra.
Kill it dead.
I would like to declare who's going to go first. So this guy who's on you, it rears up. It looks like it's going to engulf you, and it selects Gemma to go. High five myself.
Finally learned.
Okay. Based on the sitch,
Mm-hmm.
looks like Alestra is in greater danger than.
Peril, mortal peril.
And I'm hurting a lot. I need to heal myself.
Then I will go for the one on Alestra. And you would think I would have this number memorized by now, but I don't. 15 plus 4 to get it to 19. Hiya! That's 4.
I'm going to spend 2 to increase my resistance to 5.
And I will spend 5 to hack and slash this.
All right. Well, you may do so
Some
per the rules.
per the rules. Great. So I do 6 points of damage.
All right.
Cheers.
And then I will use my super dope Montauk Mastery. Spend another BP to hit it again. And then spend the other to get it up to 18.
All right.
Die. Oh, with a 3!
All right, it's gonna spend 4 to get its resistance to because it's gonna spend 4 to get its resistance to 4 because you reduced its body resistance from the last attack, right? Yeah, so it's at 4 right now.
Do you have any weird points?
Do I have 2? I also haven't searched yet. Surge. So I'm a surge.
Okay.
So that gets me up to 12. So I will just spend those 4 to squash.
Oh, it curses you. Yeah, there's cursing. Lots of cursing. In a ululating tongue you do not understand.
I just go, bah!
Sounds about right.
Is it still alive?
No, it's dead.
Okay.
It
I was
is.
like, that's
It's
60
very
points of
dead.
damage.
I need that dexterity plus vigor roll from you, Alestra.
Don't let it get in your mouth.
Shush. Close your orifices.
That's right. Luckily for you, Gemma can hermetically seal her orifices.
Like a hippo.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna surge. Give myself a few more BPs here.
We'll put that in the show notes. Links to hippo anatomy.
What was it? Dex plus vigor?
Yes.
Dex plus vigor.
Dex plus vigor, that's 9. I'm going to increase it to... increase it by 9.
Okay, to 18.
Smart move.
Because I don't want to fail this. With a 3!
And how many points are you spending to overcome the resistance?
I only have to do 3 to overcome its resistance.
Oh, no, that's the body resistance. This is the difficulty of the task.
So
Oh.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
6.
Okay. All right. Who are you selecting to go next?
I will select my dear friend Jexa, because she's got someone up in her face.
Pew, pew, pew.
All the others are dead that we've seen, correct?
What?
We've seen 4.
You've seen 4. The
We've
3 that,
brutally murdered 3.
and they've sunk into the
Which I
the
don't like
stones.
that fact. That means more could...
It does.
Right up.
Absolutely.
Just gonna light the floor on fire.
Alright,
I like that.
I'm gonna shoot it and raise my score to 14, because that's
Okay.
all I got.
I believe.
8.
All right.
Okay, I'll spend 3 to overcome its resistance.
It has no victory points because it tried to dodge that attack from Gemma.
Excellent.
Did not work.
So it takes 4 points.
All right.
Oh, Lester will go next. Kill it dead before it eats me!
Okay.
Please?
Try and shoot it.
You have your dagger out. Are you switching back to your...
Fine, we'll go at it with my dagger.
Just saying. It's my job to keep track of these things.
It is.
Really is the nitpicking of the game that I enjoy the most.
Real quick, I just want to clarify, make sure I understand this correctly. We're now level 2.
You are now level
With
2.
our leveling up, we get another surge.
You can surge twice per...
I
Not
could
day. You could
surge
surge again, but you won't be able to do it again for the rest of the adventure.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not like per session or anything like that. You need to rest and recover.
This is probably not going to go well.
It's okay.
Okay,
If
so
you
that's,
don't do anything, it's gonna eat me.
is that strength and melee.
It is.
Gotta get under an 8. Here we go. 5!
See?
Yeah.
No problem. Spend 3 to overcome its resistance.
Yes, Mom.
I shot it. Been doing good. Have fun dying.
It does 4 damage.
4 damage. It is still alive.
Gonna eat me.
It's okay, it won't last past this round.
It does try to eat you, though.
Yeah.
Can I, like, heal her as well?
because it's your healing is a primary action.
Yes, it is.
It tries to engulf you, like just
No, it doesn't.
straight up engulf you.
No, it
Yes.
doesn't.
No,
Use
I
all the victory points.
mean, it totally does.
Okay. Try.
So that is exactly what it needed to roll.
Ah, no.
So your resistance is 0 against this
Why?
because
it got a
it
critical.
needed a 13 and it rolled a 13.
I'm lucky number.
And I have a weird point.
Can weird
set
points
right there.
impose unfavorable rolls?
No.
So there's no way to make.
There are ways in the game to do that, but that is usually from Thurgy or some sort of occult power.
I think it's about time I pick up some occult powers.
Note to self. Occult
Time we all
power. All right, so it is going to spend.
I'm gonna spend. Can I spend 5 to bump my body resistance to 5?
No, because on a critical hit, you ignore all resistances and
Okay.
do not need to spend any victory
Okay.
points to overcome it because,
That hurts.
yeah, it also means the defender cannot boost their resistance or call
Okay.
for a last ditch defense. So it's going to bump its resistance to, or its damage from 4 to 7.
Okay.
You see it slams into Jexa, and for a brief second, you can see Jexa's face kind of emerge through, like, almost perfectly. You can see her mouth open in the scream, her eyelids blinking against the oily sheen.
I'm gonna like screech because that is creepy.
Upsetting? Yes, it is.
Very, very creepy.
All right, it would like to choose itself to go
Suck
first
it.
on the next round, but it has learned from its allies and will instead reluctantly choose Gemma to go next.
Jump.
They hurt the baby.
So that'll be a 19 to hit.
Okay,
With an 18.
don't roll a 20.
Oh
That's not great for me.
nope. Battle sister coming in.
Okay, so I have to spend 3 to overcome its resistance.
Well, you're gonna spend a lot more than that because it's gonna bump up its resistance by.
6.
You got 18. You gotta,
I'm sitting on 22 right now. How
son
high do you want
of
to
a
go?
monkey. Oh, I'll play this game of chicken.
You did.
It goes to 12. Its dials go to 12.
Great. I will use 12 to overcome.
Well, you know what? Fine. You do that.
And then I'll use one of the 10 I have left to hit it again.
I mean, that seems fair.
So I'm down to 3. Except I rolled a natural 20.
You rolled a natural 20.
I think I just died.
We can't use weird points retroactively, can we?
That is correct. You could not. All right. So here's how this is going to work.
That's your second nat 20.
Oh, it is. It totally is. I'm going to give you a choice.
Okay.
You can either possibly hit Jexa
Mhm.
or possibly cause Jexa to inhale the oily substance into her face that's coating her face. Because you're coming in, and so either you turn it at the last second and the blow stuns her, or the thing gets out of the way and you kind of have to pull the blade back.
I have 6 vitality left.
I'll just put you at 0, right? You could still possibly pull. You can pull the attack. It costs 2 victory points for each one that you lower the damage by.
So if I pull it and do 4, you'll be up. You can pick a lesser to go to heal you. A lesser
She
to-
can only do that heal thing once a scene.
Once per character per scene.
Once per character.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
Okay.
So I
Boo.
will. So it's 1 to drop at 2.
It's 2 to drop at 1. It's the
2 to
same.
drop at
It's
1.
you spend 2 to either increase or decrease the damage you do.
Okay, so I will. I'm like looking for something physical. I'll use a weird point to
Okay.
get 3 more victory points.
All
which
right.
puts me at 6.
And do you need weird points? If only I had large stacks of chips somewhere within.
So then, if I spend.
You don't have any weird. Who needs
No,
weird
I
points?
still have a weird point. Take my weird points.
Do you have one? Do you have? Okay.
Okay. So then, if I spend all 6, that drops it by 3. So I'd only be doing 3 points of damage to you.
Mhm.
Okay. That is what I will do.
All right. Very well. As you come in, the creature, you see Jexa's face through it. It briefly resolves into the creature's face, and as you bring the blade down,
I'm not going for face.
I know, but Jexa's small, so it's center mass on this creature that's reared up. It splits and kind of reforms behind Jexa, and you see the blade. You bring the blade down, you pull it, and it hits her at the last second. So you will take the 3 points of damage.
Okay.
So then I will choose a lesser.
Lesser to go? Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Kill it. Kill it dead.
Fine.
You can heal me after it's dead.
Okay, I'll
Mushroom,
try
mushrooms.
and. I know that. Anyway. Try
Yeah,
and
because the
knife it
healing
again.
involves no roll whatsoever.
Oh.
Alright, it's up to you.
It's your choice. It's your character. Dun, dun, dun.
You haven't gone yet, have you?
No, I have not.
Okay, great. I'm gonna try and knife it.
Okay.
Terrible idea. I need 10. 9.
Whoa! All right. So you need to spend 3 to overcome its resistance. It's going to spend 2 more, so you got to spend 5 to overcome its resistance.
I'm doing that. And I hit it for 4 points of damage.
All right. What does it look like?
Okay, so it had reformed behind Jexa. I'm just gonna be real mad and like shove Jexa out of the way. And
And knife it. All right. All right.
Can I heal her?
You may.
Oh, thank you.
It's
Lovely.
And then I can also medical stuff people. I have elixirs. I have a physics kit. I have a medic pack. Got a lot of stuff.
Go ahead. These things seem to have disappeared.
Is there anything that we can use to create fire in here?
Not that you can see where you're at, but Jexa could probably use interface or tech redemption to pry some technology apart and create some sort of thing.
I want to purge this.
Okay, yeah, I can totally start a fire. It's fine, give me a second. Yeah,
I can get you 1 more vitality.
I mean, I'm at 8, so I'm less than half.
Favorable remedy. So, how do you use a med kit?
It's a remedy roll, but I don't know.
It is a remedy roll. It's remedy plus wits.
It's favorable.
That's so long.
Well, do you have any points left?
Ooh, I spent them all.
Eh,
1 over what I needed. So you do not get
Okay,
attention at the
I
moment.
will create fire.
Fire!
Oh, can Alexa do anything? Isn't she?
Alexa
doing
can come in.
Great, because I need help too.
All right, Alexa comes running up. She doesn't have elixirs or anything like that, but she can. She can attempt to heal you.
Roll a 17 and a 19.
Well, at least with favorable, if you'd rolled to 20, it wouldn't have counted.
I can't use a system where 20s are great because I'd be on fire.
Right?
At least it's not. Was it? Yesterday your dice were on fire. You totally just crushed that escaping Lily. All right, so she's gonna roll once for Gemma, or one for Jexa, and
I also have elixir auto injectors. Does that mean we don't have to roll?
we'll check that in a second. So the good news is she heals you for 6 vitality.
Oh, thank you.
So you'll need a respite to get any further healing. She did a staunch wound roll,
Okay.
which, just so you know, victory points from the staunch wound roll are temporary and they can only be used to recover vitality, but a character can only benefit from a staunch wound roll once.
Okay.
Say that 3 times fast.
So you have an auto med kit. Is it one word, 2?
Auto injector.
Oh, it's an auto injector.
Yeah, elixir auto injector. Auto injector is one word. So it says program to automatically inject 1 dose whenever wearer becomes mauled.
Oh, so that is when you get mauled, it will auto inject on you.
I think I've already contacted the demon.
So
What does mauled consist of?
I will let you know.
You just suddenly like,
Right? We're talking about if I had inhaled the.
You become a Kotak.
So while that's going on, what are the rest of you doing?
I mean, I'm trying
We're
to
trying
create
to-
fire.
create
Give
a
me a wits
controlled-
plus tech reduction.
Okay, that was the question.
controlled burn wherever it went.
I'm trying to patch myself up. My face hurts a lot.
So you rolled treat wounds and it did not.
Well, on her, I haven't rolled it for myself.
All right, go ahead and roll for yourself.
Good.
So wits plus remedy.
It is.
Oh, a 9. And I needed a 10.
All right, so you don't add them into your pool. Just the way it works, so you will get they are temporary, so they go away at the end of the action.
Okay.
So you can spend them to recover vitality.
So I could
2 to 1. No,
So
you
I
can
could
heal 4.
I would
Yeah.
love to do that.
All right.
Oh. I could have used less VP because I have a feat that lets me restrain 1 point of damage. But it's okay.
Oh, take 2 points back. That's fine. Or you can do 1 point less to
You
Jexa
have 1 more vitality
Ooh,
point.
lovely, thank you.
retroactively.
I was successful in my wits and in tech redemption.
All right, you were able to pull apart. You kind of using your hand and the AI and the sensors in there. You're able to find a small power source behind the wall, and it takes you 2 or 3 minutes to kind of get this thing out. And pulling out, you see one of the stained glass windows kind of flicker and then go dead.
Okay.
But you can turn it into a miniature torch that will have about 30 seconds worth of use, which should be enough for
Okay.
Gemma to kind of purge
Okay.
it with fire.
So I show her like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and you're gonna have 30 seconds to get them all. Like,
That's on my friend's face!
You scorch it with fire. Good.
Does the fire seem to follow the oil into the cracks?
It does not.
Okay.
But when she's done, there's no char marks, there's no scorch marks, there just is the pristine flagstone again. Now you know that there is probably some sort of access somewhere on this level that would take you down into the crypts, which is what, that's kind of how these things are built. But what do you guys do now?
Well, did the whirligig thing change?
It is staying the same.
We
Cool.
need to try and commune with
To
Beatrice.
Beatrice.
The light at the end of the hallway. Nope, not a tunnel.
It is not a tunnel.
Okay.
All right.
So we approach. Is the beacon here? Like,
The beacon is on top of the...
right, but like with the source of like.
Yeah, as you get closer, you can see that the luminescence that you saw is kind of coming down from the ceiling. And you can see Beatrice standing there.
Beatrice, we have questions.
Gemma takes a knee.
Alexa's like right there next to you. And you just see Virgil just kind of, he doesn't bow, because remember, he can't, like, he can move his arms, but that's about it. And so, yeah, he just kind of tips forward.
So I see them do
So
that.
then she's kneeling.
Are you kneeling?
I assume I do some sort of sign of respect.
They're kneeling, it's your choice.
Okay, great, I'll kneel.
I kind of.
And do like Lady of Light.
Welcome. You have found me. I apologize I did not get to say thank you before.
Yeah, you didn't say anything before.
It's true.
No, she said oh.
My time is short. I must move on. Are you following?
If I say yes, are you gonna disappear?
No.
Okay.
Although my time is short.
Right. Okay. I understand that. Yes, we
You
are
found
following.
Virgil. You are following the path.
Yes.
Excellent.
Is there something else you would have us to do here?
Here? It has been so long since I've been here before. It seems to be a wasteland.
Is there a way you can help us open a gate to help so we can rescue these people off this planet?
There is another gate.
Will Virgil lead us to that gate?
I will grant Virgil the ability to do that.
Thank
This
you,
is the
Lady.
last time that I will speak to you for some time. The gates come faster for a bit.
Okay. Is there any technical box where she is being like illuminated?
No, the light is coming down from the top
Uh-huh.
and it's reflecting off a series of mirrors on the ground.
Okay.
Before you go, would you bless us for our travels?
And answer questions.
I do
Well,
have
she
one
just
other
said-
question.
Yes.
Of course. In the name of the Pan Creator and of his prophet Zebulun, and of all those who have come before, and all those who seek the light after, I give you my blessing on this journey. There will be many trials and tribulations, and should you step off the path, I do not think anyone will blame you. But know that running the race to completion will bring light once more to this world of fading suns. And as it all kind of settles over you, the weight and I need all of you to give me a straight faith roll.
Faith?
Faith.
Just faith.
Just faith.
I'm so scared of my dice.
You're an 18 and I needed a 5.
Alexa got it. Nope. All right. Well, each of you gains 1 weird point.
Woo!
What is the purpose of this race?
Race as in people or race as in?
The purpose
is
of
Abby
this
asking
race, literally or spiritually and metaphorically,
You said we need to run this race.
Hmm.
Why? What is the purpose of it?
There are many things in this life that have no purpose but to shine the mirror of one's souls to better reflect the light of the Pan Creator. And I'm sure if you complete this, my journey and my footsteps, you will find that is true for you, Jackson. However, what was built here is an amalgamation of many things. You see she kind of flickers for a bit. I'm sorry, I'm losing the pull is quite strong. The Second Republic, for all of its faults, for all of its damnation, was inspired at certain points. There were those in it in whom the light of the Pancreator burned brightly. And they did not forget that it was the Pancreator that gives worth to man's actions and not technology. And so against this day, they built, as they did in those times, a machine of terrible power and unimaginable potential. And that machine is what I discovered, and what became my race. Should you descend and ascend to the heights of glory, you will discover what I did. A way to reignite stars. And bring light, the light of the Pancreator, back to this failing universe. Doing so, perhaps renew hope for all mankind.
So when you left Milan Station, did you know you were sending it out of orbit? Everyone died.
What?
Is it our fault?
Everyone? How did you survive?
We
We
barely
made it
did.
to a ship. We don't know if there were any others who had time, but a timer went off. And the
I
station
do not
was
know.
ready.
I assume it was Orlaton's, his father's, grandfather's, his ancestors doing.
okay. The ones who muzzled you, in doing so, changed something. So it wasn't your intent, and we're not to blame, right?
I do not know. I have no absolution for you, Jaxa. I do not know. But that is...
Yeah, Jexa starts crying. I can tell you that.
Virgil, is it? You see Virgil kind of gets really solemn. And this race is among the most important that have ever been run.
Where are you going next?
Find the gate on the far side of the sun. Virgil will open it for you. It will take you back to known space, the edge of known space. That is the next stop.
Will he know all the stops?
He will know the stops as he approaches them,
Okay.
so that Orlaton's men could not have drug it out of him. He has lacuna in his brain that are only filled by what is transmitted by the gates. I can put no vow or oath upon you. I can only say that in these dark times, this may be the most important thing that those of us who serve the Pancreator do. I go forward, knowing the end that lies in store for me. If we do not meet again, note that I am grateful for everything that you did. And you can kind of see like parts of her fading kind of in and out.
Do you have an icon, a symbol that represents you?
The icon, my icon, was buried here with me. You should be able to find it in the crypts. Swoosh, and she
I don't wanna go down there. There might be bugs.
Yeah, Jex is sobbing.
Are there any, from up here, are there any other like doorways, arches?
give me a perception plus observe roll, and all of the lights go down, and you hear Virgil kind of go with God, lady.
Yes, I got it too.
So how many are you spending to find this thing?
2.
Okay. As you kind of look around, you can see behind the reflectors, there is a large metal door with the jump gate cross on it.
Hey guys, see that metal thing?
Yes,
Do you think that would take us down to the crypts?
probably.
I mean, I need more healing.
I
I'm
mean,
at 10 out of 22.
We can rest here. I don't think there's a threat at the moment. We need to find the other key to get out of here anyway, because
Yeah,
we're locked in.
yeah. I like the idea of that.
Yeah, take a moment to rest, recollect ourselves.
All right. Well, that seems like it's a good time for a break. So we'll be back in just a little bit, and we will move forward from there. hate when
Some
that
of us.
happens. All right, so welcome back. Obviously, we were having way more fun on our break than we should have been. So we looked it up, and
You looked up.
all right. So to answer your questions from before break, you each have one recovery or one revival that you can use, which will give you back vitality points. Vitality points or revivals and surges come back after you have a long rest, an 8-hour rest of just doing nothing but downtime, meditating, reading a book, sleeping, that sort of thing. And you have to make a roll. And if you succeed on the roll, you generate victory points that can be used to increase your vitality, and your surges come back. So
What if you're not successful?
then you don't heal and you don't get surges back. I didn't write the game. If this were Jackals, you could give me that book.
Okie dokie.
So, well, I think I have 2 weird points.
Are we?
Did you need another token?
Yes, please.
There you are.
Schmanks.
Yeah, it's my weird point. Don't you touch it. All right. So,
Okay. I'm assuming we're not staying here for 8 hours.
No.
So
that seems like a very bad plan to me.
I agree completely,
Could we
Alexa.
leave?
Well, we need a key.
Can we just look around the room for the key? I have a hunch it's going to be in the crypt, but can we do kind of a thorough search? Of
Sure,
the room?
give me a thorough search of the room roll.
Which is.
Thorough plus search.
Wow.
You
Observation.
need that weird point.
What was in your water?
Just water. Observation plus perception rolls.
Critical success!
Seven.
Yes!
Also, I am using a revival myself 7 points of healing.
All right.
Because I need it so bad.
I'd just like to thank Beth for that critical success.
Why did Beth? Oh, because she got you the dice.
Mhm.
Thank you, Beth. I think Beth may be watching, so just saying. All right. Well, you got a critical success, so you automatically see what it is you need to see. What did everyone else get?
7,
4.
which was successful.
Yes.
All right. How many are you guys spending to overcome the resistance?
I will spend 6 as I get on my hands and knees.
What are we looking for again?
Maybe the key.
That's right.
Also, so searching for the key, and then also if there's another way that I can make a longer lasting torch fire thing. 'Cause that fire was great. Flamethrower, yes.
Ooh, can we mount a gem summer?
I'll spend 2.
You're gonna spend 2. How many are you spending
6.
again? 6. 2, 6, and you are.
With a crit, you still get the VP, correct?
You still get the VP.
Okay.
Yes. You
You
just
just
don't get.
also
It
get
used to
your-
be where you got the double VP.
Oh, because this isn't in combat, I should use all 4, right?
You still are able to save stuff
I
between.
just can't vault it.
It's right now. It's the same scene. You can still hold on to it. At the end of the scene, you can transfer to vault. So it's all available to you right now. It's in your coffer.
Okay.
All right. So with 2, you kind of see what we've kind of described. You see a couple more of these stains, and as you kind of look around, you kind of get the feeling that there was a fight here, and that's where the stains are just chaotic enough that you can kind of see how a body would have hit the ground in your mind's eye.
Can I call on my trainings from the Temple Sanctuary Aeon to
That's
kind of
why
meditate and get any more feelings?
No, that's kind of what you get from it. That's why you got that information, because
Okay.
you're sanctuary. Yeah.
Okay.
Are there scorch marks?
They are not scorch marks. She knew that they were bleed out marks. Not enough blood for a whole body, but still a pretty substantial spread. You were looking for with 6.
Sorry.
You find. I mean, you're pretty sure you can take the reflector apart and build a small light source.
Okay. I'll sit and work on that.
Give me a tech redemption roll plus wits, please.
How many bloodstains are there?
How many what?
Bloodstains?
There are 13.
13 out of 16.
All right. This is going to be a pretty severe task, so it's going to cost you 10 victory points to do this.
Okay, 10
Do you
victory
need any?
points.
And about 10 minutes of
Okay.
just kind of sitting, pulling out your multi-tool, welding.
Well, I don't have to pull it out.
It's in your hand.
It's my hand.
Okay. You see her hand kind of splits open into a number of different tools as she. Are you crafting it to go on Gemma's armor?
Ooh, that would be useful, yeah.
She mentioned it earlier, so.
She'd ask for a flamethrower.
But I mean, a built-in torch would also be nice.
Her light source, yes. We're working up to that one. I have this wump gun that I think I want to fix to your armor.
Give me the right answer.
That's right.
We get a face full of fire.
Dude, you ever just become
Well,
like,
that's
super,
terrifying.
super
As I will
sister.
probably be on the receiving end of all of those
Face
discussions.
full of fire.
Huh.
Flame beard.
So yeah, I will make it so that it will attach to her armor so she doesn't have to use a hand
Okay.
to shine a light. She can use both hands and on her sword. And yeah, I'm also, once I finish that, I started sketching plans to attach a wump gun to her armor.
I'm just envisioning a scene from a particular movie where they fire a very tiny projectile weapon and go flying backwards.
Yeah, I know exactly which one. You can see the jump gate cross carved into or engraved into the iron plate that leads down to the crypts. Pretty, very standard for you. As you kind of turn around your mental, like in your mind's eye, you can kind of see where the priests would normally stand, where the choir, the chanters would stand, where those who came to worship would be in here. And you can see kind of on the wall behind the reflectors, you see Zebulon, Prophet displayed. There you can see around the inner side of the room. Excuse me. The transepts on the porches, you see those images from the various points in Beatrice's life on her way to sainthood. You see her resisting several of the demons of the darkness between stars that came to tempt her off the path. You see her meeting with Zebulon, discussing one of the great conclaves. She was there. You see each of her 7 miracles that she did to be considered for sainthood, and then you see her death at the hands of a creature that, while it bears no physical resemblance to the creatures you just killed, they have the same sort of oily skin and carapace kind of, but it looks like armor that's just part of them. And you clearly see the place where the 2 keys would go on the inside of the doors. But you do not see any keys here at all.
The inside of the doors that we came in.
Yes.
Okay.
Could the key be inside the orb that's in the gravitational thingamabobber?
I'm hesitant to touch that.
Now you're hesitant to
No.
touch it?
Oh yeah, now Jax is super hesitant to touch it because it didn't kill us. When it was gonna kill us, she was all for touching it.
That just seems so backwards.
Okay.
If it's gonna kill us, it's gonna kill us. Whatever, let's go. But
So do
now
we
maybe
want...
something else.
So while Gemma did not burst into tears, there's definitely a so bright, not so
Yeah, no, there's a
somber?
sobriety.
There's a
here,
sobriety.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a minute, meditate, collect ourselves, or do we want to just?
I made this for you. It's a light. You can put it on your shoulder. It'll shine out, and that way you don't have to hold a light and your sword. You can just hold your sword. Yes.
You want to take a second and attach it?
Yes.
Okay.
The smell of ozone and, melting plastic and metal. But very quickly, your suit's systems pick up a new device. So,
Cool.
You're becoming Inspector Gadget.
Much better hair.
Yes. Did we check out the little room that has the bench?
you did not check out the little room that has the bench.
Should we check out the little room that has the bench?
Go for it. Yes.
I'll stand guard.
I don't like this. Virgil!
What
What
has
me?
what has Alexa been doing?
Alexa's just been praying,
Okay.
looking around with Gemma. She's kind of following Gemma
Uh-huh.
in sort of a keeping Gemma between her and any open space in the cathedral.
Right.
Does somebody want to come with me? I don't want to go alone.
Sure. Can use my new light.
Okay. Click. Whoa. Cool. We'll go check out the little room with the bench.
Okay. As you kind of head back there, you can see the bench goes around 2/3 of the room and then stops in front of a black, almost mirrored metal frame on the wall. And when you kind of sit down, so that's what you see.
Okay, I'll sit down.
As soon as you, who else is in there with you? You? As soon as you sit down, as soon as she sits down, the door seals.
Crap! Can I
And-
stand up and does the door unseal?
The door
It's
does unseal.
confessional.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll sit down again.
It's a confessional.
Familiar with the inside, please.
Yes. As soon as you sit down, the door seals, like a door seals. And you hear a slight crackling, and you see the same woman that you saw in the image that says, "I will take your confession. Unburden your soul."
I confess that I have locked myself in a cathedral at the lake of light, and I don't know how to get out.
I confess I was part of a battle in this cathedral where it should be a holy place, but we have desecrated it, but sort of also re-sanctified it. I don't know. There was a battle.
You see, it just kind of is staring at you briefly. You have desecrated a holy place?
But we also re-sanctified it by fire.
Was a member of the clergy with you?
Yes.
Did they perform the correct rites?
Yes. I have no idea. That's Abby.
You didn't do any rites, so.
That's true. We have not performed the rites. Can you tell us the rites we need to perform?
You are being, your image and your vocal confession is being remitted to the proper authorities.
Crap! I don't like it.
I'm just
Please await them. A member of this cathedral will be with you shortly. And the door opens up.
Does she fade away or is she
She
still there?
does. She fades away.
I want her to come back.
stand
I
up,
need to
sit
know.
down.
Yeah, I'll try that. Stand up, sit down.
The door starts to close, and you see you see kind of your reflection in the blackened steel, and then it opens again, and she comes on. Please await. A member of this
Wait,
order
please.
will be with you.
I need help.
Please wait.
What
A
you
member
guys
of
doing?
this order
Hey,
will be with you shortly.
Jackson, come here real quick.
Okay.
Jackson, can you
Sit
just sit on this.
Yeah, it's a really small room. Like with Gemma, one of you can fit in with it.
I want to be here. Crap, I'll stand outside.
Jack said, we'll just open it.
What is this?
It's a confessional.
Oh, then you
There's-
shouldn't be in here either. If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it by myself.
Well, if you want to unleash your deepest, darkest secrets, it will be transmitted to the proper authorities, and then someone will come for you.
Okay.
We want to get information out of the AI, so you're welcome to confess.
We need to find the key. So
All
we
right,
need you
I'll
to-
sit down.
We need you to fiddle with her. No, I'm outside. So.
Are you stepping out as well?
Yeah.
I will take your confession.
Let's see. It has been some time since my last confession.
How many years? Weeks, months, days, hours?
I guess it was in the cathedral. When was I on Milan? How long ago?
Not that long ago.
Yeah, how long ago?
3 weeks.
3 weeks was the last time I stood in a cathedral. Yes.
You gave confession there?
Yeah.
You see this little heart rate monitor start to come up.
I mean, I told Sister Alexa a lot of stuff, and Sister Alexa told me a lot of stuff, and then I found out from Nigel that there was, found out about ruffled shirts. Have you heard about ruffled shirts?
Ruffled shirts are not official vestments for...
Understandable.
Is it though?
Well, I've heard they're for laundry days, so, I get it. But, so this is my confession. I have accidentally locked the door. How do I find the key?
You have locked the door of your heart?
I'm not even sure what that means. No, I literally locked the door of the cathedral, of this chapel. Temple? Cathedral. Jex is really not big on the whole, she has no idea what this place is called.
The Temple of Silence and Light you have shut.
Yes, Temple of Silence and Light. I have shut the door and locked it.
There is no one here to help.
There's no one here to help? No. You're an AI, and so using my AI to talk to you a bit better.
Are you taking the panel apart so your AI can interact?
I would like to, if you're okay with that.
No, that was JM
I
asking,
know.
not...
Well, right. Jax is like, I would like for you to talk to another AI, because you are an AI.
Do not tamper or otherwise alter
Okay.
the confessional booth.
Okay, I won't touch. But, no, there's no one here. The other people who are with me saw a broken up hologram of you, and then we were attacked by oily bug ooze creatures. You are the only intelligence we have found inside the temple.
There is no one else here.
There's no one else here. What do we do?
I've alerted
Okay,
the authorities. They will be here shortly.
here's my question. Can I ask you a question?
You may confess.
I confess that I do not think there are any authorities left here to come.
What has happened?
There was a scouring, and yes, Jackson uses quotation marks for that. A scouring
I have records of the confessions of the scouring.
of the earth, and at some point, the temple was sealed on the inside, was sealed from the city.
You see it, it just kind of stares and blinks at you for a while. You get the feeling this is not like a full AI. This is a very limited sort of branching intelligence program that kind of runs through.
Right.
its-
So I'm gonna say, okay, thank you. And then I'm gonna stand up, and when the door opens, I'm gonna poke my head out. Gemma, can I tamper with the AI?
From what I know, you're not gonna get much from these.
Well, it might, if it is connected to the inner workings here in the temple, it may have another recording of that hologram that you told me about. That might be in better pieces.
You hear banging on the door. Hello? Hello, is anyone in there? We got a report.
I'll walk to the door. Hello?
Hello?
Can I tamper with it?
Is that, are you the newcomers?
Yes.
I'm Guard Bessarian.
Hello, Bessarian.
How old is he?
How did you get in?
We found a key, but the key's on the outside of the door, and we're now on the inside of the door.
Don't lose that key. See it in the door?
I see the one key, yes.
Yeah, don't lose that. Can you slide it under the door?
We
Can it fit under the
we
door?
managed to get in. We're working on a way out. We apologize for the alarm.
All right, you sure? I mean, I've got the key. I don't really see a. You remember it was sealed.
I figured asking was worth it.
That's fair.
Okay, do not lose that key.
Right, I'll
You do
Wait,
not lose that key.
wait.
Give it to Sophronis.
Lord.
Lord Sophronis. Give it back to Lord Sophronis. You do not lose that key.
I mean, I was gonna wait here and not lose the key, but I can
I like
go
to
give
have
it
you
to the
back.
Lord.
That's
That's what you really
we're
want.
working on a way out. We'll hopefully be out shortly.
I'd try and help get you out, but this thing's basically impenetrable to the tech that we have.
Yeah, we know. We're working on it.
All right, are all of you in there?
Yes.
Is that okay? Well, good luck.
Thanks.
We'll notify you if we need you again.
Right, I'll just stay right here
Perfect.
Perfect.
Gemma,
then.
he didn't answer my question.
So we want to mess with it to see if we can get more of the hologram that just said there were things.
Or even schematics on the layout, records of any other
If
confessionals.
there's any health records, let me know. I like health records.
Would I know if there are records of confessionals kept, or is that something that's like sent and purged?
I mean, it is behind, because the priests then have to, like, they review, if they're not physically on the other side of the screen, they review the confessions. And they're as tightly locked down as the church can make them. So basically any confessions, and then, after the priest receives them, they do purge them.
You can try. They're pretty heavily encrypted. That's one of those things they don't want people having access to.
Okay. Thanks.
I would hesitate to tamper too much with it because for that reason there might be safeties involved that would shut the system down for fear of that very thing, of pulling information that could be used.
So you don't want me to try to get anything?
I'm conflicted. My upbringing says don't touch it.
Okay, what if I don't touch the confessions?
You can try.
Okay, so I will tamper with it, connect to it with my AI.
Okay. I'm gonna need a wits plus tech redemption roll just to access it.
Not interface?
Nope, just to
Okay.
access it. There's no access ports. You got to basically
Oh,
take it
okay.
apart.
Okay, so I will start with that. Wits plus tech redemption,
Yep.
okay. I will spend 3 VP to bump it up to 19. And of course, there's my natty 20.
Okay. All of the lights go out.
Oops!
The door does not open.
Oh, double oops.
Wait, but I'm not sitting. I didn't sit back down on the bench.
Then the door closes on you.
Okay. That's fair. I was like, wait. Okay.
How's it going in there?
All of the lights go off. The only light now in here is the light of.
You hear an oops.
That's what I thought.
Oops, it's not good.
I'm gonna leave you in there.
Okay. I'll confess to the mirror
Mirror's
Maybe
the-
just
by myself
try to turn
in
it
the
back on.
dark.
Did you power it off and then back on again?
Can I?
No?
Muttering under your breath about darn children and their sticky fingers.
Yeah, it has not gone well
No.
at all.
Can we,
Mm-mm.
before we head downstairs, can we just peek in the weird thing room to make sure there's nothing else in there with that?
I'm gonna
Thing?
feel along the edge and see if there's some sort of emergency release if something like this happens.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Give me a wits plus observe roll. You can go look in the other room. You
I
still
don't have a light.
okay, but you still hear the.
Right. Can I feel around the door?
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not something that.
Okay.
That was not a check to see if she could find it. That was also more of a check to see if it was there. So. Yeah, no, you don't feel anything. You didn't anticipate. Because it's not just a power outage. You know that in cases of power outages, doors like they would open up.
Okay, and sorry, total rabbit trail. The altar was where we saw Beatrice, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did we thoroughly explore the altar? in
She
case
looked
has
at it.
Hidden compartment?
You did not
Okay.
look for hidden compartments in the altar.
Is the room she's in like sealed, like she's gonna run out of oxygen?
Not that you know of. It shouldn't be.
Well, you're gonna have to hold tight till we can figure out how to get you out of there. And I don't speak tech so good, so
Okay.
I don't.
One tech. I have zero interface.
Because it doesn't look like we can blast through this door.
You can always
Would
try.
Virgil be able to open it?
No. I have no way to interface with that door. There's no hinges or locks or handles.
So Gemma starts doing the mental calculations in her head.
Okay.
The guns that she has. Is there any way she can open the door without filling Jexa full of door shards and or residual?
You can get her if you tell her to stand at the side, possibly, because remember it's shaped kind of like this. So if she stands to the side of the door and you blast it, it should mitigate any sort of damage from it.
Does it look like a material that could actually be shot through? Because it looks like everything in this.
No, yeah, this is just a wooden door,
Oh.
or at least it looks wooden. Hey, Abby. While this is going on, just give me a perception plus observe roll.
I don't like it.
All right, you're kind of.
I'll try and shoot the door.
What are you shooting it with?
Good thing you think about it.
I got a 14 out of 15.
Okay, how many points are you spending to overcome this, or how many points are you spending in this blind bid?
10.
Okay. Go ahead and spend them.
What do I notice?
You don't want to say.
I guess I'll use the Martech Amber.
Okay.
I have a Martech Cold. Would that help?
So it's gonna put a small hole. That'll put like a small hole in the door. Do you have anything sluggy, or maybe you could
I do.
come at it with your sword?
I don't have a clip to refill the big gun,
So you want to keep it.
kind of don't want to use the big gun.
That's fair.
I'm just trying to hit it with my sword then.
Okay, give me a strength plus fighting roll. Or strength plus melee.
You're making me nervous.
I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's probably fine.
Success.
Success? Alright, you bring the blade down. How much are you spending to overcome the resistance of the door?
4.
Alright. You put a big hack in the door. This loud noise rings out in the cathedral. You just see as you're standing to the side of the door, the blade just takes 2 or 3 more hits, but you're able to clear enough of a space that you're able to push the door back, and Jexa comes out.
Thanks.
Nothing learned.
Cathedrals have safeguards.
Sometimes when we touch things, it goes haywire, but I already knew that.
We don't mess with confessionals.
Okay, so I won't mess with any more confessionals.
Don't just
On this
put
planet.
a lot of messable confessionals in here.
I will swing back around and shine my light as if to head towards the crypt.
Okay. Alexa is not there.
Did I hear anything?
You heard nothing.
That wasn't enough.
I don't like it.
Do we see any drag marks?
There's not. It's
Is
solid
there
stone, so there's no
pool of
dust or
blood?
anything. There's no new pool of blood.
Very good.
But with 10, as she spins her light around, you do see that the crypt door is open.
Hey guys, we need to go to the crypt now.
I'll
Like
hold your other
now.
torch. So we
Do
can have 2
love
lights.
natural 20s. That would be your natural 20 that has come back.
Okay.
Okay. So
Well,
I
there's one
will.
in the-
There are no more dooms of Damocles hanging over you.
Yeah.
Like, we need to go now.
Okay, so you have a light on your shoulder. I'll take your other torch because I
I'll
can
just-
hold it with the gun.
Be following them because I don't have a light.
That's fair.
Go forward.
Is Virgil still there?
Virgil is still there.
Virgil,
Yes.
did you know what happened to
Virgil?
Alexa?
I heard nothing.
Okay, let's go find her.
All right. So you get to the edge of the things and you can see stones.
Any way you can turn on the lights in here?
I can try.
You gonna try?
Sure. I'll get into another one of those panels. I'm not gonna try to turn on all the lights, but I'm gonna try to get another one of the stained glass windows to turn back on.
All right. Give me an interface roll. Plus wits.
Okay. I will spend VP to bump that up to 18. 6.
All right. It is a demanding task, so it will cost all 6 of those.
Okay.
But you manage to get, as soon as she gets the stained glass back on, you can see there's amber lights that flicker on kind of below.
Okay.
Let's go.
And I will take point.
All right. So it's going to go you.
Can you go second or you go second?
You can go second.
Okay.
I'll go third with the other light.
Do we hear anything when we're in the doorway? Because it's a smaller chamber.
Give me a perception plus observe roll. All right, you can see that the lights on the side of the stairs, there are constellations, and these ones are familiar to you from the Empire, mounted into the wall, and these little stars are what are giving light to the stairwell as you head down. You see the crown and the cross and the griffin.
Nope.
Nope. All right, you hear this low hum as if there's some sort of air recycling going on underneath.
I have my gun and my knife out.
Okay.
Gun and torch.
Your light and
My gun.
your gun. You got. Have you named your sword?
Big Bertha.
Would you ever name your sword? At some point in the campaign, you will declare your sword name. Okay, just wondering. The opportunity hasn't presented itself yet. All right. All right. So, as you kind of head down, like everything starts to smell very like damp mold.
Do you see any footprints?
There's still nothing on the ground. It's still like a stone. Like
Any
you can
sort
see.
of like brushes on the wall, cobwebs disturbed.
Nope,
Are there cobwebs?
there are no cobwebs.
I don't like cobwebs.
There are no cobs either.
I
As
don't
you
get it.
cobwebs. No. Funny story. I'll tell you after.
Okay.
As you head down, you can see that it kind of opens up into this multi-pillared vault. And you can see things moving on the far side, and they do seem to be dragging something that is struggling against them. And you can see that the mouth is, Alexa's mouth is free, but her eyes and head are covered, and they're kind of dragging her that way. What do you do?
Shoot.
Just start running.
You guys can go ahead and give me. All right, so who would like to go first? They have the initiative, which does not matter in this case because Gemma will just steal it from me. Gemma, would you like to steal the initiative?
Do you want me to?
Probably.
Okay. There are only 2 of these things.
Are they the same black bugs?
They're not bugs. These ones have a
Black
much more
bugs.
like humanoid shape. They have
Like what
two
she
little
saw in her vision?
two little vestigial arms that kind of are underneath. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You go charging across.
Do both of them have hands on Alexa or just one?
They both have hands. You can see one has its hand on her head, kind of cradling it underneath, and the other one is kind of has its arm on her belly, but you can see this black band kind of flowing around her, and it's kind of holding her up. So the 2 of them are carrying her.
I'm gonna go for the one on her head.
Okay.
And yeah. So it's strength plus melee.
Strength plus melee. Do you scream anything as you go running across? Bellow anything? Probably.
I just yell. Sorry, JV's laugh.
Yeah. That one was for you, John.
I'll just scream Beatrice.
Okay.
Like, Beatrice, protect us. I'm going for his arm.
All right. Roll for it.
Bumped it up to 18. With an 8.
Nice. All right. How much are you spending to overcome the resistance? Well, hold on. They're going to spend 3 to increase the resistance. These ones seem bigger, as if.
14. I'll spend 9.
Dang. You overcome it
Do we know by how much?
by 2.
Okay, so their resistance is 7.
And then I'll hold please.
All right, and you do 6 points of damage.
And I'll do the same thing. I'll try and hit again.
All right.
Get down to 2. It'll be 18 again. Crit on an 18.
Oh, son of a.
Nice!
Thank you, Beth.
Beatrice definitely watches over you.
She's like, "Get it, girl."
Right?
Don't worry, I have an ability where I can check them. So we know it's. Oh, but I don't have to worry about their protection. This
You
time.
don't. They.
Resistance.
Yep. So, how many points of damage are you doing?
So that's. So I did 6 last time.
It's every 2 victory points is 1 point of damage.
I'll drop 14. So said
You're gonna increase it to
additional,
7.
yeah.
So 13 points of damage.
Mhm.
All right, you just come in and
That's my Gemma. Don't touch.
Not too spot.
I mean, huh?
So a total of 19 points all together.
Huh, and also
Her
huh.
six first on the first one. This is her second one.
I'm confused, okay.
So yeah, so 13 on the first plus 6 on the
So it's 13 on the second.
second. Yeah.
So you know that they have somewhere between 1 or 7 and 19 points of damage or vitality they can take. Huh. Well, this one is going to interrupt and attack you.
Okay.
It drops
The one I
Alexa.
just slashed.
No, the other one.
Oh.
That one's dead.
Okay.
It drops Alexa to the ground. And it takes both of its hands. They turn into these scything blades as it tries to cut off your face. And it will be spending.
So wait, that one's doing that so the other one doesn't die?
No,
No,
that
they're
one
both-
died.
both
This is
dead.
the other one. Yeah, there's only one left now. Well, I'm not taking the natural 20, but I will take the. Alright. Well, seeing as you are clearly a threat. Clearly. Good gosh. Can
She
create.
can walk.
She is the womp gun.
That's your middle name.
Gemma the womp gun.
Sheer.
Oh.
All right.
Her favorite music is doo-wop.
Just keep joking. I'm just gonna keep adding chips to this roll. What's your resistance?
7.
So I'm gonna overcome that first. Are you spending any to increase it?
Yeah.
How much? Don't look through the screen.
Whoa!
Bad form, Peter. Bad form.
Did you just give yourself a weird point for that?
I did.
Okay,
cheap.
so I have
He was just jealous we all had one and he didn't.
6. I'll cash in a weird to make it 9.
So you're adding 9.
Yeah.
There goes my big stack of chips.
Yes.
The point?
So it hits you.
Yeah.
4. Do I want to spend these to increase it? Nope, he needs that to keep it safe. It hits you for 7 points.
Ow.
And it will choose Jexa to go next.
Okay, I will move close enough, or
Close.
closer so that my range
Is better?
Is better.
Okay.
And then shoot it. I need a 16. 15. I will spend
Nicely done.
7 to overcome its resistance.
Okay.
And
Load it up.
I'll spend.
I'm going to spend 2 to increase its resistance to 9.
Okay, so I will spend 9. But then yeah, sure, I'll spend another 6 to add 3 more damage, so for a total of 7.
All right.
I know it's still up, but
Oh, it's still up, and it's angry.
your turn.
How many points did you hit it for?
7.
7.
7. Okay. This is a different scene, right?
This is a different scene.
Yes. Okay. Can you do 2 things?
You can do one thing.
You can move in a primary action.
I wanted to perceptionize in primary action.
Well, could, but that'd be all you could do.
That's no problem. I will attempt to shoot it.
All right.
She
You
has
are.
little T-Rex arms.
No, they're kind of like these, like really thin.
T-Rex arms.
I mean, they got length. They're not T-Rex arms. They're useful. They're manipulator arms.
Shooting is
If you move up, it is Dex plus shoot. Yes.
I like that.
If it is over the first range increment, it'll be intelligence. It'll be perception plus shoot. Thank you.
How far away is this thing?
They're about 14 meters away.
Okay, so that means I am into the second range,
So you have to use perception. Yep.
which is much better than the Dex.
Okay.
Alright, so that is 13, and I will bump it up to 17. Trying. 2.
Hey, you didn't shoot me.
I didn't shoot you, but I was hoping for more victory points.
Because you don't have enough to overcome its resistance then.
I could use a weird point.
Still not enough. You need 7 to overcome its resistance.
Well, that's stupid.
Hold, please.
I'm holding.
We will wait. It hits. It just doesn't do any damage.
We're paused while it's still shooting. So I get another weird point? Ooh.
Can you use more than one weird point at a time?
Once per round, you may spend a weird point.
Oh shoot. Okay, so I'm not. Nope. I don't have any either.
That's a bummer. Okay, well, I tried. It's Jim's turn.
Oh, did you already search?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could search again, but I'd rather not at the moment. It's Jim's turn.
All right. Well, it's the start of the new round, so yeah. Go for
I
it.
mean, unless you would.
No, it would have been really cruel if Abby had said, you know what, he can go. Oh, wait. Maddie, interrupt him.
So, String Cushman is a 15.
Note. Just
13. So I hit it.
it doesn't have that many chips over here.
I'll spend 7 to overcome its resistance.
All right. It's gonna spend its. It's gonna spend its last 3 chips to increase it.
Okay, so I'll spend 10 to overcome it.
Okay.
So that's 6 points of damage.
All right. It's still up.
Oh, I keep forgetting it's a 16 hit. Okay, so I'll do the thing that I do.
All right.
Dur. So I'll spend 1, and then I'll dump 2 in to bring me up to an 18.
All right. Go for it.
Nope. Nice.
19.
Mhm.
All right. Who is going next? Oh, that's right. My symbiote is, because it can also steal. Had you chosen me and she stole it, I could have stolen it back from her. So well played. It's going to attempt to attack Gemma.
How about I interrupt
Go for it.
and say Jexa goes?
Oh,
That's fine.
okay. I will attempt to shoot it with a 13.
Go for it.
7. Spend all 7 to overcome its resistance.
All right. What's it look like?
Oh, good. I shoot it in what we would be called its face area. And it kind of rocks back. And then do they also dissolve into goo when
They hit the ground and just kind of.
Yeah, so
puddle
it like its head rocks back and then it falls back and
So we need another flamethrower.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna need to flame this ish. Can I loot the bodies?
I want to free Alexa.
Yeah, I want to know how Alexa's doing. Does she need healing?
She's unconscious, but seems otherwise uninjured.
Okay, well, I can give her healing for 5. Yes, please. Okay. Do you need more healing?
I mean, I'll take it.
Okay, great. You can fill up.
Huzzah! All right. Yeah, let's
Let's
Um,
torch.
get that goo off of her.
Okay. There's no goo on her.
Oh, okay. So when it
I
let
will-
go,
Yeah.
Carefully
okay.
remove her from the goo area.
Can I try and wake her up?
While
Sure,
she
give
wakes
me a
her up,
remedy
we can
roll.
work on
Okay,
Okay.
remedy
torching
plus.
some
Wits.
Is there another way I can make another flamethrower down
Not down here.
Okay. So I could go back upstairs, in theory. And
In theory.
I got a 4 out of 10.
I could
How much
drum
are you
it out of
spending?
existence.
Spend 6.
Okay, that's enough to wake her up.
Alexa, are you okay? Are you unharmed?
What happened?
We don't know. We were trying to get Jexa out of the confessional, and when we turned back, you were gone.
I remember that, and I remember waking up here.
Okay. Are you hurt?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Do you hear voices in your head?
Just the one I normally hear.
No others? Is
No,
it telling
just
you to
kidding.
do anything weird?
Just my own.
Does it tell you to do anything weird?
No.
Who's Nigel?
Do you want me to? He is my laundry day partner.
I want a laundry day partner. That sounds useful.
We'll get you a nice puppy.
I mean, okay, but like, some help me with laundry day.
We'll train
They
it.
can carry things for you.
Exactly.
Like put
Okay.
strap a basket to him.
Okay.
Stuff on the basket.
Who's Beatrice?
The Lady of Light?
Does she twitch at all when she says that?
No. What? Who?
We're just making sure you are you.
Who was Kotak?
Too soon. She was an orange dog.
You didn't meet her.
I heard about it.
Okay. Is there anything else weird in this room?
There's the passageway they were dragging her back to. You can see these kind of oily strands that almost look like webbing on the ceiling.
Can
Can
you
we
create
shine
a
your
spark
light
with
up?
your hand?
I feel like we should not be in this tunnel when
Yeah.
she does that. This is a no.
You're not in the tunnel. That's
Well,
that's
I mean, I
where they were
can
dragging
create
her to.
a spark easy enough. That's not the problem.
Smoke sticks. And I'm wondering, is there anything else in the room that would be flammable?
No, there's nothing really here in the vaults.
Did the oil?
It looks like it was cleared out.
Did
at
the
some
oily
point.
residue burn?
Like once we caught it.
Like did it
no,
catch fire?
it more evaporated.
Okay.
Walking around with your fingers.
Right. Okay. I don't think we should go down there with that over the door.
What if you cut it down?
I can try and cut it down.
I like purifying things better.
Can I hack and slash it down?
Hey, what if
You
we
could.
run back upstairs, grab another one of the stained glass panels, maybe two,
Desecrate the church again?
maybe 2 of them.
Alestra,
have-
I'm in shock.
We'll have a minute of
How could
flamethrower.
you?
Shush!
Maybe that's why the confessional locked on you.
That would make so much more sense.
I
did
played
lie
with
about
it, and yeah.
I should go back to the confessional. Anyway, cut it down.
Do we want to? I want to try and do it before I, touch it with my beautiful blessed sword. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't want that ish
Roll
on
for pew pew.
Can I pew pew at the ground?
There's nothing. You mean?
Their remains are on the ground.
Sure.
Their slimy remains.
Amber.
You
So
don't need.
the-
You don't need to roll. Sorry. You hit it with the ground. It doesn't seem to do anything, either to the
I'm
stones
just
or to
doing
the.
like one shot because I don't want to
Oh,
waste my energy.
that's fair. You shoot it and it doesn't seem to affect it at all. You shoot it, and the strand that you hit kind of snaps and disappears down the tunnel.
That's gonna take way too long.
Cut it down. Is this totally like the sensor part of whatever is down there? It's the
I mean, they know
Okay,
we're coming now
so-
because we just.
There's already 2 dragons someone down there.
these fish that have but they're not this big, they're like this big, and they have a light at the end of their heads to lure in things, and it's also like helps them to sense like what's around them. That would be that. It senses things. And so the brain is down that passageway.
So what do you propose we do?
Cut it down. Hack and slash.
I could try and help you. I have a rapier.
I don't have anything sharp. I tried to pick up one of Calypso's bouquet of daggers that she gifted Gregor. She took it away from me.
Probably smart. Why don't you shine the light for us?
You're a mechanic. Hold the light.
Man, you're totally having flashbacks to
Oh,
apprentice
man.
training under what's his face?
Derek.
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 Oh, what a bag of wind chimes.
Okay, I'll start
Not gonna
attacking
say
it with my rapier.
Yes, Maddie. All right.
Yeah.
I'll start attacking it.
All right.
Are you attacking it too, or am I only attacking it? Don't leave me alone in this.
Swing at it with the sword.
All right. You guys are just going through hacking these things down. So every so often you have to like scrape your blade clean on the wall because there's.
I check to hold still. I would never do
Because you
that.
do know when I say torch, I don't mean like torch, but I mean like.
Well, right. I'm holding it with
Okay.
2 hands like this, like in front of me.
But you're holding it up like it is, like it's like a D&D torch.
No. No, I'm holding it in front.
It's not a lightsaber.
Yes, Maddie.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The flashlight?
It's got an extra battery pack strapped to the
So, as you make it your way down the tunnel, you start to see little alcoves where there are the sarcophagi and the crypts. You also see little carved out areas on the side where you can see bones, some still some wrapped, but like bones of body,
Are there any
whole
names
skeleton.
with the bones?
There are not. There are little barcodes that have been etched into the stone underneath it.
Can you scan the barcodes? Do I look like a scanner?
so fun. You're talking about all
Do I? Is that what I look like to you? Do I look like a machine? I'm sorry. Do I look like a machine to you?
This is going on. Just gonna go sit in the corner. Is there any fresher remains than others?
Sure, give me. So actually, you do. You can see that these ones are significantly older, but as you move your way down the hall, you can see that some of them, like where they'll stack 1 or 2 bodies in the same. When they stack 1 or 2 bodies in the same alcove, there are newer corpses on top.
Okay, so I'm gonna go inspect the newer corpses. Respectfully see if they are placed with anything in their hands, around their necks.
They are, in fact. You can see that the newer ones have thin chains around their neck that actually seem to be made of like a lacquered wood, and they're clutching a medallion, kind of over their collarbone.
Can I see if I can, without disturbing too much, see what the medallion looks like?
You're not known for your dexterity, Gemma.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, well then give me a just give me a straight dexterity check.
I ain't smart, but I'm dexterous. Straight dexterity check. Nope.
Do I notice anything?
All right, so as you kind of you're like, two or three broken fingers later, yes, you can see. They're holding a wooden medallion that is sort of in the shape of the reflector like panels upstairs, and on the front you can see 8 rings kind of carved into it, and then in the center you see kind of an iconic image of Beatrice.
Okay. So, would I believe that this is her icon, or would I
you
believe
would-
I would need to look somewhere else for it?
You're guessing that's probably her icon.
I will look to see if I can decipher the barcode of whomever is buried here.
Wits plus academia, please.
The special ability with church libraries doesn't help, does it?
That just gives you access to
Just
the
spend a weird
restricted.
point to make it favorable.
Yeah, you can spend a weird point.
Roll 4.
Oh.
Wait, that's what both of them put together?
Yeah, dude. I ain't smart.
Do I notice
call,
anything of the
I was gonna
bodies
say,
on
call
my
me
side?
over, I'll come look at it.
Hey,
They're
Jessica.
just
Really?
they're
Really?
Yeah. She didn't ask me to scan it. She didn't ask me to scan it.
I didn't ask her to boop it.
Sorry.
Hey, Jeff.
welcome to the cribs.
Did you find everything to your satisfaction? Please come again. We're happy to have you.
You enjoy your stay.
Your priestess is on sale today. 2 for 1.
All right, so would you like to
I'm gonna
give?
call you over and I'm gonna say, I just want to know this person's name. In full honesty, I can't read.
You don't need to roll because you speak the tech language of the
Do.
church.
Yeah.
Still
I am a literal. I am a scanner.
Oh well, you know,
Who's the
sometimes.
one who's healed you?
You're kind of delightful.
Why
You
are
just
you-
have to change how you ask me. Okay.
I just want to know their name.
Okay. Their name.
This is Alphonse Delecti, the 4th.
Does Delecti have anything to do with Delecto? Okay.
No.
The 4th.
There's a branch in the
Which
passageway.
one do you want me to read for you?
Kind of.
All of them.
There are hundreds lining the walls.
Do I find any interesting on my side?
Are you looking through bodies?
I mean, as I've been swiping, do I see anyone particularly interesting or items particularly interesting?
No, they're not buried with anything. They're buried with the little wooden medallions. That's about it. Some of them are in worse shape, kind of rotting away, that sort of thing.
And the newer ones would have been that far into the tunnel that we've passed.
No, they're getting. The newer ones are actually further as you go in.
I guess that makes sense. Okay.
They're also the ones that are doubled up or tripled up.
Because they ran out of space. Maybe once we get closer in,
Sure.
see if we.
I have a fun story
I'll
about
read
that
it.
later.
Thank you.
I have a fun story about that later.
Sorry for offending you. Scared.
I will take a moment and I will thank Alphonse, and I will pray that he finds his way and ask if I can borrow this icon.
Fun story for later. All right, are you taking it? The corpse doesn't,
I know,
the
but
remains
it's
don't. Okay. If this were
That
D&D, I
counts.
totally would have had the remains respond.
I know. And I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna study it for a moment, just so I can visually imprint the icon, and then I will.
Okay. Give me a faith plus observe roll, please.
Oh, it's 2. Successful.
Making patterns on the ceiling.
How many points do you want to spend to overcome?
I'll cash in a weird to make it 5.
I'm sure your tech
All right.
can do all sorts of weird shapes.
As you kind of look at it, the way the different panels kind of align, you're pretty sure it will fit in the lock at the door upstairs.
What'd you find? You got that look on your face?
I'll say, thank you, kind sir. Thank you, Beatrice.
Right.
I think I found a key.
Cool.
No question. Now that we can get out, we want to keep going down.
Do you really want to leave Beatrice's temple?
No, I'm just asking for,
I'm curious.
I think
Probably a terrible
we
idea, but I'm
shouldn't
curious.
leave Beatrice's temple full of darkness
And oil.
and oil.
Then I'll put that in a nice safe place. And then, so we're drawn on.
Should
All
we
right.
take more of them for backups? Or is that desecration?
I might start towing on desecration.
Okay, great.
But we also, in theory, have to go back this way. So
Good point.
crypts usually only have one way down.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if there's not another way down, then maybe we found another way out.
Okay.
Great.
Trench.
The strains are starting to get thicker and more blocking as opposed to just kind of accenting the tunnel.
Would any of the wrappings here be able to start a fire?
Probably. You would need something to wrap them around.
Terrible idea.
That would definitely cross the line into desecration.
Right.
If you're wondering where that line is, I'm not sure that's the line, but you picked a point on the opposite
What
side
if
of the
we,
line.
I could
what
use
if,
my rapier.
I was gonna say, could we use one of the swords?
You
Make a
could,
torch.
but there's a chance that it would damage the blade.
We can use my rapier.
Use the rapier.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so create a torch, light it on fire.
All right. Just roll a d20.
2.
All right. All right. Are you?
I mean, I give it to the person, one of the people in front.
So you're hacking through.
I'll just kind of be holding it towards the strands. Does it burn the strands up?
The strands kind of, they don't burn up, but you can kind of see they retreat a little bit from them.
Burn it!
Okay.
I don't like it when you say okay like that.
I feel like Abby's motto for my game is
I don't like it.
She just doesn't like what comes out of her mouth.
You talk, it becomes tainted.
I'll have to wear that shirt one day. So you're waving the torch back and forth.
Yes.
All right. It guts a little bit as the strands. Are you still cutting, or are you allowing the torch to do most of the work?
I'm gonna let the torch do what it can, what it misses. I will.
Okay. Eventually, the torch and Alestra and Gemma kind of make their way. You kind of pass a couple of side passages, but they just seem to open to smaller vaults that just have bone piles in them, or like an ossuary. Question? Or?
No.
Oh, okay. It's like, all
Holding
right.
up the light.
Okay. And as you make your way, you finally come to an archway that is almost completely blocked by these black strands. And as Alestra waves the rapier, the last of the wrappings just kind of.
Can we bring more with us?
You need to give me a d20 roll and just tell me what you get.
7.
Okay. All right, and inside here, this kind of opens up into a small, the light on your shoulder, it opens up into a small room, and you can see Beatrice's sepulcher is kind of set into the floor. There's just, it rises up maybe 6 inches off the floor, facing you, so like it's kind of tilted back, and you can see at least the sculptor's approximation of what she looked like in death. And what's really interesting is most of like the image that you've seen of her, the images of the statue, those are all of a young Beatrice. This is much more of an older, kind of stately Beatrice. And she holds kind of in one hand a shepherd's crook, and in the other hand a book. And on the book's cover, you can see kind of the profile of Virgil.
Okay. Are these carved in stone?
These are
Which
carved
is-
in
okay.
stone. And beyond that, you see piles of undulating black oily sacks.
How many piles?
Piles.
Piles and piles and piles.
Or
And
do we
beyond
want
them,
to-
you can see a number of the skittering bug-like creatures, about a dozen. And sitting on the piles is a much larger one of those bugs with a like distended back end.
Well, we found the boss.
And that's where we'll leave off.
We need a lot
For
more
today.
wrappings.
It's
So-
fine, everything's fine.
No, that's where we're leaving off for tonight.
Okay, great,
Hard stop.
great.
Thank you all for tuning in and watching. Thank you guys for playing. Again, this is Fading Suns, a game that will be coming out later this year by Ulysses Spiel. We are Iconic Productions, and thank you all for watching.